What is up, my fellow budget travelers? In today's video, I'm starting a series about the Greek islands. I'll show you everything that you can expect with a port day with Celestyal Discovery Cruise Ship. Things like what I ate, are the menus in English, how much did I spend here on souvenirs, all that good stuff. When you dock in Athens, you're going to be here at Lavrion. And just to warn you, this is at least an hour's drive from the Acropolis. So it might be worth it to do an excursion for Athens just so you don't waste any time. But for me, I was actually here early for the weekend because I was in town for a wedding in Rafina. So stay tuned for that video. But I assume if a lot of you are leaving from Athens, you're going to want to get there early so that you don't miss the cruise ship in the morning. So I'm sure you're probably there a couple days early as well. So let's start off by showing you how to get from the airport into city center Athens. So here we are at Athens International Airport. And after you pick up your baggage, if you have a shuttle transfer, it's going to be over here to the right. It's to the right of door 5. In Rafina, I had stayed at Avra Hotel and they sent me an email with directions. So I figured I'd share with you because it's kind of easier to see here where all the airport shuttles will be. But the airport shuttle is always free. So if you're staying in Rafina or if you get into that port, you could take the free shuttle from your hotel to the airport and then take the subway from there. However, I assume the majority of you will be taking the subway into Athens. So what you're going to do is look for door 3. That's the closest to the subway entrance. That's door 3 over there on the left. And the subway is straight this way. So you'll see this hotel over here. If you see it, that means you're going the right way. Don't go straight past it. Go to the left of it. So if you see this sign, it means you're on the right path. They have a few escalators and elevators, so you can do either or. And then once you're inside, there's like a covered bridge. You're just going to follow that into the entrance to the subway. Now this is where it gets a little complicated because it's automatically going to be in Greek. So just click this little flag and hit the English flag and that will give you English. Then you're going to hit buy ticket and however many you need. And then you're going to do the 90-minute Athens and airport ticket. That ticket is good for 90 minutes. Then you're going to go ahead and scan. And do not throw this away because you need to scan it again in order to get out. So luckily we did not throw ours away because I like collecting souvenirs, but otherwise we would have just tossed it. And from here, you're going to catch the blue line and that's going to take you right into Athens. And it'll take you about 40 minutes or so. You'll be able to follow along because they say which stop you're at and it also will tell the stop here, even though it doesn't want to show up on my video right this second. And then you're going to scan to exit the subway and here you are inside Athens. But this is where all the action is and most likely going to be closer to your hotel at this stop. And let me just tell you, trust your GPS because these roads are very zigzaggy and yes, you are supposed to walk up that hill. So of course, first thing on my to-do list is to stop into a coffee shop, which ended up selling nuts in the back. That was cool, but had to get a Freddo cappuccino. And it only took us about 5 minutes before we saw her, the Acropolis. She is gorgeous. So it's really cool to walk around the city and the Acropolis just peeks out at you around every like nook and cranny. We stopped to listen to this band. And while you're walking around Athens, it's really cool because there's just ruins everywhere. And there's a lot of Greek cats, which are always cute. But again, trust your GPS because if it's taking you to the South Slope entrance, it's the best because it had the most shade. So I'm happy I took that travel tip because it was hot out. On your ticket, it's going to give you reservation time for you to go in. You can go in anytime during that hour. And now this is the most important part. There are a lot of scams in Athens. You'll kind of feel that vibe as soon as you get off the subway, but only buy tickets from this website. This is the official website. This is the only place you should be buying tickets. And when I went in September 2025, it was only 30 euros. So you should be paying around 30 euros. Now, once you're inside, make sure you take your time to explore because there is a lot to see here. They even have an Acropolis app if you want to check that out. But there is so much to explore and so much history. So don't feel like you need to follow the crowds or race anybody. Just gonna take your time and explore. I even found myself stopping to listen to different tour guides around areas that I was interested in. So feel free to poke your head in and listen to other tour guides. Just because you didn't buy the tour doesn't mean you can't, take pictures next to the tour. For example, one of the tours was talking about what was on this plaque, and all of the statues you see in Rome, they all used to be painted, which I had no idea. And then there's also used to be seats in the stadiums and things like actual marble seats, which I thought was really cool. I just assumed it was like wood, but you can see here, they all used to be like this seat here, and this is one of the few remaining ones. You're definitely going to want to wear comfortable shoes because this is some slick marble you're walking on, and I did not have the right shoes, but I managed. But you definitely need some grip with your shoes because that marble is slippery. And you know, it's not so much watching out for yourself, like it's watching out for other people around you, tripping over these bulging rocks and things because people are walking around not paying attention, and next thing you know, they're knocking you down the marble with them. I saw it happen to one guy. I felt so bad. This was one of my favorite photos that I took in Greece. This is just like an epic spot for a backdrop, and it looks so cool when you're taking a selfie. And that's a perk of going up the south side because honestly, the north side was closed by the time we got over there. So I'm so happy we went up the south so we were able to see all this stuff. You're also going to need a water bottle while you're at the Acropolis because it is hot, especially if you're here in the summer. And it gets really dusty too, so even just, you know, breathing through your mouth gets a little dry because of all the dust. I saw a lot of people with umbrellas, so if you want, bring an umbrella and that will kind of shade you from the heat as well. There are some trees, so you can catch some shade here and there, and the cicadas will sing to you. This was also crazy to me that it was such like a fine line, but all the rocks are so different shaped, but they managed to do these like perfect lines. All meanwhile being like dug into a hill. It's so cool to see this up close and personal. This was over where I saw the guy fall down. So again, just watch your step when you're walking up and down these slick marble tiles. Our reservation for the Acropolis was around 5 o'clock. So I thought it was really cool because once you get up there, the sun starts to go down and all the columns start to change color as you're walking back down. The only bad thing, like I said, was the north side did end up closing. So we weren't able to go see the north side. It closes at 6. But I think the south side was pretty awesome. So I'm good with what I saw. And we ended up walking down the north side just to see it from a different angle. And again, the slope was closed, but there is a path that goes to the exit. I think it's to the north entrance maybe. But that was fun going down just to see the Acropolis from a different angle. And by now we were starving, so I was craving some feta cheese and some mythos beer. So we stopped at this little guy, which was over around Monastraki Square. It was off one of the side streets, and honestly, we stopped there because there was photos on the menu to explain what we were looking at. But we went inside to use the bathroom and look how beautiful this place was. And to give you an idea of pricing, feta was $4, the rooster was $11, the spanakopita was $4, and the mythos was $5. You can see in this video, I was so happy to have my feta cheese. This was my first feta cheese in Greece. Next, it was time to go shopping. So we went over to the street right over next to where we were eating. And that is where all the good stuff is. It was so pretty watching the sun start to go down too. All this area over by Monastiraki Street, I think this is Monastiraki Market. I'm sorry, I'm totally butchering it, but that's where all the deals are. And make sure, if you can, see the Acropolis at night. It is so cool. There's a bunch of rooftops in Athens downtown area too, so if you can get up on a rooftop, go check it out. But we were kind of running short on time, and we had made a reservation for the hotel shuttle to bring us back to the hotel. So we skipped this rooftop bar that's right over here, and we headed back to the subway so that we could get back to the hotel. Now, I do want to tell you the late night subway schedule is a little bit different. So just pay attention to where you're going, but it's the same idea. You're gonna go back to the airport, so you're gonna have to buy a ticket to the airport again. And it's that same one, the 90-minute one. But for Athens Airport, it's a special one. It says Athens and Airport. So here's the subway coming our way, and then it was off to the airport. And again, we went over to where the hotel shuttles are, so they were right back where they were, right over by gate 5. And once we got back to the hotel, we went over to this little bodega because I wanted to try some snacks. We were still kind of hungry. And I really recommend trying whatever is really weird looking when you look around in the supermarkets, because they have some really interesting flavors in Greece. And that's about it for Athens, because we just sat on the balcony for the rest of the night. And if you want to check out the hotel that I stayed at in Rafina, I'll be posting that video soon. So I'll leave a link here once I do. And let's just do a quick port day in Athens recap. So for this stop, you're going to be docked so you can get on and off the boat at your leisure. Do I suggest an excursion? Yes, just because it'll save you a lot of time. And Athens is huge. It is really spread out. So it just depends what you want to do. It is going to take you about an hour to get into city center of Athens. If you want to run around and do things by yourself, I would suggest getting a rental, but it really just depends on how much time you get in the port. Is there a beach nearby? Yes, there are many. Even Rafina had a really beautiful beach. If you guys make it out there, make sure you hit Kraken Bar. It's a really fun beach bar. And here's an idea of how much I spent while I was in the city. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me anything in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. And if I inspired you to put Greece on your bucket list, make sure you hit a blue heart in the comments so I know that I'm doing a good job with these videos. If you want to explore more of what I did on my Celestyal Discovery Cruise Ship, I've got plenty of more videos coming, so make sure you check out this playlist here. Otherwise, tomorrow, hit that subscribe, because I am going to Mykonos, and no, this is not Photoshop. This is exactly what it looked like, so you're going to want to see that video. I'll see you there.